Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jasura Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jasura Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Nana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasura Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jasura Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jasura Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Banachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Sri Radha Madhava Ki Sri Radha Giridhari srimadbhagavatam ki Go Premanandi Jayo Vishnupada Paramahamsa Paravraj Gajaja Shodhara Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Chananara Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jayo Vishnupada Paramahamsa Paravraj Gajaja Shodhara Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Sama Veda Bhakti Ki Jai Go Premanandi All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Krishna Krishna Namaste Saraswati Gaura Pracharine Nivishesha Shumanadi Pashadhyani Shatane So this morning, reading from the Bhagavatam, srimadbhagavatam, 4th canto, so chapter 21, instructions by Prithu Maharaj to the citizens. 33 is today's verse of choice. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Tameva yuyam bhajatatma vrittibhir mano vacha kaya gunai swakarmabhihi amayina kama dughangri pankajam yatadikara vasitartha siddhaya. Like that. Pretty long word, huh? There, just Hare Krishna. Tameva yuyam bhajatatma vrittibhir mano vacha kaya gunai swakarmabhihi amayina kama dughangri pankajam yatadikara vasathartha siddhaya. Tameva yuyam bhajatatma vrittibhir mano vacha kaya gunai swakarmabhihi amayina kama dughangri pankajam yatadikara vasitartha siddhaya. Anyone like to chant? Tameva yuyam bhajatatma vrittibhir mano vachakaya gunai swakarmabhihi amayina kama dughangri pankajam yatadikara vasitartha siddhaya. Tameva yuyam bhajatatma vrittibhir mano vachakaya gunai swakarmabhihi amayina kama dughangri pankajam yatadikara vasitartha siddhaya. Tameva yuyam bhajatatma vrittibhir mano vachakaya gunai swakarmabhihi amayina kama dughangri pankajam yatadikara vasitartha siddhaya. Tameva yuyam bhajatatma vrittibhir mano vachakaya gunai swakarmabhihi amayina kama dughangri pankajam Ladies. Tameva yuyam bhajatatma vrittibhir mano vachakaya gunai swakarmabhihi amayina kama dughangri pankajam Yadadikara vasitartha siddhayaha. Synonyms. Tam, unto him. Eva, certainly. Yuyam, all you citizens. Bhajataha, worship. Atma, own. Vritti, occupational duty. Manaha, mind. Vacha, words. Kaya, body. Gunai, by the particular qualities. Swakaramibihi, by occupational duties. Amayinaha, without reservation. Kama dugha, fulfilling all desires. Angri pankajam, the lotus feet. Yata, as far as. Adhikara, ability. Avasita arta, fully convinced of one's interest. Siddhayaha, satisfaction. Translation. Prithu Maharaj advised his citizens, engage your minds, your words, your bodies, and the results of your occupational duties, and being always open-minded, you should all render devotional service to the Lord. According to your abilities and the occupations in which you are situated, you should engage your service at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with full confidence and without reservation. Then you will surely be successful in achieving the final objective in your lives. Please repeat. Prithu Maharaj advised his citizens, engaging your minds, your words, your bodies, and the results of your occupational duties, and being always open-minded, you should all render devotional service to the Lord. According to your abilities and the occupations in which you are situated, you should engage your service at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with full confidence and without reservation. Then you will surely be successful in achieving the final objective in your lives. It's quite an instruction. Purport. As stated in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Swakarmana tam abhyarcha, one has to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by one's occupational duties. This necessitates accepting the principle of 4 varnas and 4 ashrams. Prithu Maharaj therefore says, Gunai Swakaramibihi. This phrase is explained in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturmaya Mayashishtam Gunakarma Vibhagasaha. The 4 castes, the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras, are created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to the material modes of nature and the particular duties discharged in those modes. A person who is situated in the mode of goodness is certainly more intelligent than others. Therefore, he can practice the Brahminical activities, namely speaking the truth, controlling the senses, controlling the mind, remaining always clean, practicing tolerance, having full knowledge about one's self-identity, and understanding devotional service. In this way, if he engages himself in the loving service of the Lord, as an actual Brahmana, his aim to achieve the final interest of life is attained. Similarly, the Kshatriya's duties are to give protection to the citizens, to give all his possessions in charity, to be strictly Vedic in the management of state affairs, and to be unafraid to fight whenever there is an attack by enemies. In this way, a Kshatriya can satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his occupational duties. Similarly, a Vaishya can satisfy the Supreme Godhead by properly executing his occupational duties, engaging himself in producing foodstuff, giving protection to cows, and trading if necessary when there is an excess of agricultural production. Similarly, because Sudras do not have ample intelligence, they should simply engage as workers to serve the higher statuses of social life. Everyone's aim should be to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead by engaging his mind in thinking always of Krishna, his words and always offering prayers to the Lord, or preaching about the glories of the Lord, and his mind in executing service required to satisfy the Lord. As there are 4 divisions within our body, the head, the arms, the belly, and the legs. Similarly, human society taken as a whole is divided into 4 classes of men according to their material qualities and occupational duties. Thus, the Brahminical or intelligent men have to execute the duty of the head. The Kshatriyas must fulfill the duty of the arms, the Vaishya class must fulfill the duty of the belly, and the Sudras must fulfill the duty of the legs. In executing the prescribed duties of life, no one is higher or lower. There are such divisions as higher and lower, but since there is actually a common interest to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are no distinctions between them. The question may be raised that since the Lord is supposed to be worshipped by great demigods like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and others, how can an ordinary human being on this planet serve him? Did that question ever cross your mind? Okay, anyways, it's bringing it up. This is clearly explained by Priti Maharaj by use of the word yata adhikara, according to one's ability. If one sincerely executes his occupational duty, that will be sufficient. One does not need to become like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Indra, Lord Chaitanya, Ramanujacharya, whose capabilities are certainly far above ours. Even a Sudra who is in the lowest stage of life, according to the material qualities, can achieve the same success. Anyone can become successful in devotional service provided he displays no duplicity. It is explained here that one must be very frank and open-minded, amayana. To be situated in a lower status of life is not a disqualification for success in devotional service. The only qualification is that whether one is a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Sudra, he must be open, frank, and free from reservations. Then, by performing his particular occupational duty under the guidance of a proper spiritual master, he can achieve the highest success in life. As confirmed by the Lord himself, Striyo Vaishya Sata Sudras Te Piyanti Param Gatim, Bhagavad Gita 9 chapter 32nd verse. It does not matter what one is, whether a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, or a degraded woman. If one engages himself seriously in devotional service, working with body, mind, and intelligence, he is sure to be successful in going back home, back to Godhead. The Lord's lotus feet are described here as Kama Dukhangri Pankajam, because they have all power to fulfill the desires of everyone. A devotee is happy even in this life because although in material existence we have many needs, all his material needs are satisfied, and when he at last quits his body, he goes back home, back to Godhead without a doubt. That's why devotees are happy in this life. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksulun Minitam Nenata Ismai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sri Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Banchika Bhatarupascha Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Bhavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So with your blessings and good wishes, I'll try to say a few words. I'm waiting. Thank you. There's a bunch of, quite a few topics in this purport. Quite a few. They're very rich. Very, very rich purport about, and the instructions here given by Prithu Maharaj. Very complete and full about the different, how to satisfy the Supreme Lord, how it's the goal of life, the different orders of life, and the fact that just goes on and on and on and on. So we'll begin here. Now this is reflecting the what's described even in the purport, that the occupational duty of a Kshatriya is to make sure that everyone's fully engaged in the Lord's devotional service. In other words, their occupational duties, there's a supreme goal or reason for performing our daily duties, not just to satisfy what's known as the animal propensities. So I'm going to ask you a question, but I'll give you a clue. There's 4 of them. What are the animal propensities? Do you know that one? Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Okay. Give him some extra. Is it burritos this morning or something? Give him an extra burrito for that one. Okay. So without that higher goal, that's what we do. Whatever our occupational duty may be, and it's described here, not just occupational duties, it's described here, our abilities. God-given talents is that expression, God-given talents. So we all have those. We have to act. You have a body, you have to do something. So what are we going to do with all that energy and all those talents and abilities? Whether they are regulated or not, what does everyone do? Well, if we don't know about something higher, we only use those activities for eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Sometimes people are offended that the spiritual master, the Vedas say that we're like animals. How? Beg your pardon? How can you call me an animal? Right? But what's the difference? Dvi paru pasu. What does that mean? Dvi pada pasu. Two-legged animal. Because if we don't really have anything more to offer than eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, then we are just an animal. And I think more and more people are just into that. The prophets, many times he'd quote that he was on the University of Hawaii. He mentioned in the lecture that the next life you can become a dog. And someone said, what's the problem with that? That sounds like a good idea. Just run free, right? Just run for have a good time. They saw nothing wrong with becoming a dog. So people actually, and dogs are our best friend. So why not? So in other words, they're not seeing that there's anything wrong with that, with falling, or if there is reincarnation, becoming a dog in my next life. Well, they see it as what's wrong? It's a happy life. Happy life, just running around, catching the frisbee. Yeah. I think they play frisbee. Okay. Yeah, that's just that point is if we don't see anything higher, then what is the difference? There really isn't any difference. It's just more sophisticated. Just like even amongst the animal species, you see that how they accomplish these four goals of eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Sometimes it becomes more refined or sophisticated, even in the animal species. So human beings are just the epitome, the crown of that. That's evolution. All this is an arrangement for eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. And in due course of time, species evolve, and they have more and more refined and sophisticated means of eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Well, the Vedas say that's a bunch of malarkey. That's Maya. Malarkey, is that a real word term? Do you know where that comes from? Huh? Malarkey. Where's it coming from? What is malarkey? We'll have to look that up. Malarkey. It's illusion. It's not true. It's not true. The human life, and that's the greatest ignorance. It is so dark. The human form of life is meant for actually becoming free from the bodily concept of life and going back home, back to Godhead, and they're putting a cap on it. Bunkum. That's like my classes. Malarkey on Tuesday mornings with Dharmasetu. Okay, Hare Krishna. So this is very serious. It's just like if you're in prison and there's a way to get out, legal way, and someone just squelches it. Right? You're innocent. The DNA test. That's a good example, right? The DNA shows you're innocent, and someone just destroys the whole DNA test. How do you feel about that? You're in for life. There's a DNA test, you can get out, and someone just destroys it. What do you think about that? So that's what's actually happening in today's society. The leaders of who are the leaders of today's society? It's the politicians, it's the scientists, it's the educators. These are the people, the big business people. They, intentionally or unintentionally, they're also an illusion, but they're leading society in such a way where all of that is obscured. It's just like, and if it's brought up, they immediately call in the people who try to debunk it, call it a bunch of phantasmagoria and this and that, and foolishness and sentiment, and religion has been, spirituality has been relegated to psychology. You have your truth. I have my truth. Small t. There's no truth with a big T anymore. It's your truth. You have your truth. Everyone has their own truth. What's this about something else? Everyone makes up their own reality and just leave everyone alone. Just people just doing what they want to do. Of course, the problem with that is then you have a Hitler. Right? I mean, we could mention some more contemporary names, but we're not going to. But then you got a problem. Because my truth is really crushing you in your truth. So that's a problem. But anyways, the point being is this ignorance is very, very thick, very, very deep, and horrific. It's horrific. It's horrific. The soul, Satchidananda Vigraha, we're meant to become free in the human form of life, realize all this and go back home to the God, and they're just stopping it. The ignorance is very, very deep, and this is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga means what the greatest illusion is accepted as reality, and the greatest truth is considered to be illusion. Even the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that religion is considered to be irreligion, and irreligion is everything's upside down. It's a very, very dark time. Very, very dark time because of this ignorance. So what's being described here is actually to be in complete harmony with reality is that all of our God-given talents and our occupational duties, everything should be dovetailed with the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we will feel liberated in this lifetime and at the end of life, as the very last sentence of the purport process, and go back to Godhead. Just by aligning ourselves with this greater reality, and that is what the Vedas say is the whole purpose of this creation. So it means you take a creator out of something, we don't know what's going on. Just like this painting on the wall here, Sita and Ram. If you say, no one actually painted that. It just happened. Well, there's a whole reality there you just obscured. Actually, that's, who is that? Who's the artist there? Is that Dhriti and Ram Abhiram? I think, yeah. Is that Dhriti and Ramdas, Ram Abhiram? Point is, nice devotees, and they had they're thinking of this particular pastime. It's actually displaying the pastime, and they painted it, and there's a whole purpose behind it. And you're saying, no. There's no purpose behind that painting. That's ridiculous. The whole reality is complete. You're bringing it all down to zero. So the whole material world, there's a reality here, and the reality means there's got to be some intent, and there's got to be a person. If there's intent, there's a person, isn't it? The two are, you can't divide it. Intent means a person, right? There's intention. This means a personality. So the whole material world is existing. It's a creation. Creation means creator. It does. So, and a creator means a person with some intent. Why did you create that? Just like the outfits we're wearing. Some people in India had some intent, right? They had a loom and this and that. And they, let's make it like this with a stripe or these colors. Or, I mean, every single thing that's created, there's a person behind it with some intent. Like to make it look a particular way, a certain size, to sell it to this and that, raise money for the... There's intent behind everything wherever there's something created. So they figured all of that. So what's being pointed out here is all these orders of life, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, they're all created by the Lord as facilities for the jiva who gets into a particular body according to their karma. We have a particular birth according to the modes of material nature. What are the modes of material nature? Yes. Okay. Very good. Give him an extra burrito for that one. Okay. And these orders of life, the Varna and Ashrams, according to the different modes. Goodness, Brahmins. Kshatriyas are passion. Now, Vaishyas are a combination of two modes. Right? And then the Sudras, ignorance. Okay. And so, if that's our mix of modes, that's kind of where we're going to be happy. We'll be happy. If you're a Sudra, you're not happy being a Brahmin. Everyone's, expecting you to be clean and on time and truthful and this and that. It's hate it. Like that. Just leave me alone. Let me do my own thing. Right? Or if you're a Brahmin, you can't be a Sudra. Why is he cleaning everything all the time? And how come he's quoting all those verses? Like that. Or a Kshatriya. Kshatriya is very passionate. He's got to rule something. That's like the Pandavas. They asked Duryodhana, give us at least 5 villages. We should have the whole kingdom, or half the kingdom, like we did before. You cheated us out of it. He said, at least give us 5 villages. We have to have something. We're Kshatriyas. And he said, I wouldn't give you enough land to push a pin into. That was a big mistake. He shouldn't have said that. Like that. Because the Kshatriyas, they have to do it like that. That's their nature, to be in charge of people and take care of them. Not just in charge, but to take care of them. You can be in charge of people and just exploit them. That's not a Kshatriya. That's not a Kshatriya at all. A good one. A real Kshatriya is someone who wants to take care of people and help them. Just like a good parent likes to take care of the family and make sure all the kids grow up real nice and are taken care of, get a good education, and become responsible members of society. A lousy parent doesn't do that. Right? A lousy parent doesn't do that. Doesn't really take care of the kids very well. So, and it doesn't really matter. Very important point. It doesn't really matter where you are in society. That's a very, very important point of the Vedic culture and of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. Because in Vedic culture, it says here, because everyone's aim should be to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead with one's mind, body, and words, then the envy is not there. Right? The envy is not there. But if you don't have that element, then there's so much envy between the classes of society, and that's why you have different movements, whether it's capitalism or communism or this is socialism or whatever, because they're trying to figure out the distribution or aggrandizement of wealth and power in society, because everyone's envious of each other. But if people are non-envious because they have a pure heart, they're pure-hearted, doesn't matter. How much can you lift? 100 pounds. Okay, that's pretty good. Santosh can probably lift more, right? Are you envious of Santosh? Like that? No. People, yes. For your own aggrandizement, you collect all of these things for myself. It's mine. Aggrandizement. For my use. Like that. Okay. Comedian over there. Give him another burrito. Okay. So, point is not envious. So, I know that. You know, the famous story in the Ramayana about the squirrel or the spider kicking a little dirt in there and Hanuman. Everyone has different abilities. That's the point here. Was it Amaniyatam? Everyone has a different ability. So that's what Krishna's given you. The real thing is not that comparing ourselves to others, whatever we do have, to utilize it all in Krishna's service. That's the most important thing. Whatever we do have, use it properly. They even say that about wealth. Not everyone's going to have the same amount of money, but it's what you do with that money, that's what's really important. That's what you're given. So the idea of everyone being so concerned that this person has more, that person has more, it's a waste of energy. It's a waste of our mind, a waste of our life, a waste of our intelligence. Everyone has their God-given talents. Utilize those. How, maybe you have $5, maybe you have $5 million. Who's going to be the happiest? The person who does the right thing with whatever money they have. You can be really miserable with $5 million. And you can be really happy with 5. It's what you do with it. And the most important thing is described here. Utilize whatever we have in Krishna's service. You'll be so happy. And you'll be non-envious. Like Prabhupada said about sannyasis. So going to homes of well-to-do people. So on one hand, there's instructions to be very, very careful. You start thinking, I used to have a house like this. I used to have a wife like this, and so on. But then he said, when you go to a home like that, you think, this poor soul, so entangled. Big, big home, all the responsibility of work to take care of it, and he's got his wife and, his parents and all the kids, and very sad, very entangled. That's how. And let me do something to help them, not just tough luck, Charlie, but let me do something to help them. That's how a devotee thinks. Sannyasi has nothing, but he's thinking, oh, this is very, very sad. Very, very sad. Questions at the end, okay? Or you can ask if this is where to find something. Let me just wrap this up because of the time. And very important here at the end about you don't have to be, we hear in the prayers, the Lord Jagannath, he's worshipped by Lord Brahma, right? Ganesh and Lakshmi. So Krishna is worshipped with great, great devotion by the demigods and by the residents of the spiritual world and our spiritual masters. And we hear about all the devotional activities of the great acharyas and gurus and demigods and how they're so nicely engaged in pleasing Krishna by their activities. So how about us? We're tiny little Kali Yugites. How can we please Krishna? How can we please Krishna? And by saying right here, very easy. Because it's whatever we have, whatever qualities we have, we engage them in the Lord's service. How could we be asked to do anything more? How could you be asked to do anything more? So the point is, whatever we have, to use it in Krishna's service. And what's Krishna pleased by? It's the devotion. Therefore he says, Patram pushpam palam toyam yo me bhaktya parayachati. Jamal, what's that verse mean? Yeah, exactly. Even a simple thing, a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water. Krishna is completely happy and satisfied. So, the main thing is the devotion and the full absorption in trying to please Krishna. Full absorption is described here in the Sanskrit, and in the verse, he says, what is this? Mana, vacha, kaya. Mind, words, and body. All of these things. Engage in the Lord's service, and one will become very, very, very happy. And it says here the real catch is no duplicity, right? Prabhupada says that later on in the purport. It doesn't matter what a person is, as long as there's displays no duplicity. One's very frank and open-minded, like that. Doesn't matter. Those are the things that attract Krishna very, very much. These are the attractive qualities of devotees, and there's so many examples. And therefore, in fact, in Kali Yuga, no one has any good qualities. It's the Kali Yuga, right? We're all fallen souls. Patita Pavana Hetu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Patita Pavana. He's the deliverer of the fallen souls. It's the Kali Yuga. What do we have to be proud of? The very fact that we're in Kali Yuga means we've missed the boat. If you keep missing the boat, you're still there on the dock. What are you so proud about? You idiot, you keep missing the boat. The boat's here, Satya Yuga, go. No, I'll stay. Trade Yuga comes, I'll stay. Dwarpa Yuga comes, I'll stay. Kali Yuga's like, it's hell here. I'll stay. I mean, you're a knucklehead. I mean, we're like, how foolish can we be? So many opportunities, and we're still here. What are we waiting for? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, okay, Kali Yuga, just get on the boat. Right there. I'll even help you. Just come on, get on the boat. Yeah. So that's Kali Yuga. That's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Patita Pavana Hetu Tavavatar. Most merciful incarnation. Just somehow or other gets us on the boat. All we have to do is say, I'll get on the boat, and gets us on the boat. So we can end here. Any comments or questions? Yes, Prabhu. A degraded woman? Probably be someone who's just like a degraded man. All kinds of bad qualities. Right? Degraded man, degraded woman, someone who's manifesting all kinds of nasty habits, hurtful of others and envy, whatever. So that's what a degraded woman is, a degraded man is. And they're all over the place. Just walk out the door. Or so look in our hearts. That's this Kali Yuga. So, and Prabhupada's writing, but he's not singling out that women are degraded and men aren't. And they all are, but that's what that means. So, you can ask our editor. Am I correct in that assumption? No. I'm just saying Prabhupada wrote that, but it's not. He's making a point. He's thinking that women are degraded and men aren't. Everyone's degraded in Kali Yuga. He's just writing. So we don't have to write read anything into that. If I was just writing and so on. There's very elevated men and there's very elevated women. They're very, very pure and kind and like that, have good qualities. Questions or comments?
I was listening to a lecture by Sheshika Prabhu, and he was saying how Krishna will take us back home kicking and screaming.
Yes. He'll take us back home kicking and screaming. So, yeah, he's screaming Hare Krishna. Okay, there's a qualification there. Like that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to grab my notes. Yeah, okay. Hare Krishna. So this is more like a comment, I think, and you can comment on my comment or correct me. What struck me in the verse was that it says, anyone can become successful in devotional service, provided he displays no duplicity. And it's explained here that one must be very frank and open-minded, revealing. So that means revealing one mind and being open-minded. It's is that right? Or
well, open-minded, what's being referred to here is that one is truly accepting the principle of serving Krishna. One doesn't have an ulterior motive or plan. You know. Just like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, is it Kali Chela? In Kali Yuga, many people dress like Vaishnavas, but they're not really interested in serving Krishna. That's duplicity. You know, one poses oneself as a spiritual person, but they have all kinds of other like that. So one sincerely and truly and one's ability to do that, or what it may be very small or very big, but the point is, in one's heart, that's all one really wants, is to be Krishna conscious. One may be struggling more than others, or this or that, but that's not the important thing. Is that in one's heart, one really, really, really wants to just serve Krishna. He's open-minded. He's non-duplicitous. He's frank. It's just there's no like this. Like Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness is easy for the. What's that quote? Simple, right? And difficult for the crooked. Got something else going on, it's not easy. But I just want to please Krishna, it's very, very easy. So that's what that's referring there. As far as revealing one's mind, that's part of it. But the open-mindedness means that one is, open. It's like it says, a sadhu's life is an open book. One doesn't have anything in there. It's an open book. One just wants to serve Krishna. And that's amazing if you think about it. But that's what happens when you associate with the great devotees, because they're like that, and it's such an attractive quality. All this other garbage in the heart, manomalam, it's called dirty things in the mind. All these material desires and plans and me, it's just not there. It's just Krishna. And you study Prabhupada's life. We're with him all the time. It's just Krishna, 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 all the time, 24 hours a day. Just nothing else, no other thing. I need some time for myself, or it's me. And it was always Krishna, 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 Krishna. It was just completely open and frank, and just that's what it was. So to that extent, we need to try to be like that, and at least have the desire. That's the overriding desire in our life. That frankness and non-duplicity. That's what's being referred to here. And is that okay?
Yes. Javira Prabhu would say yesterday in the class, I wrote it down and said, mind manifests in the words and in the actions. And he said, don't let it star. So that was really important. But sometimes, I feel like when there's something that I wrote that I wanted to comment on, but I took so many notes yesterday, so.
Must have been a good class.
Yes. It says, if the meaning is not there, the feeling is not there. So sometimes if the meaning is not there, the feeling is not there. Yes, yeah. But I mean, I'm like, when I apply it to in a different way, I would say that sometimes, we are being sincere when we're expressing something, and have the best intention at heart, and so we don't have dualities. But at times, if we can do that and everything, but if something is lacking in the other person or in ourselves, whatever we say is going to be meaningful, not meaningful, and that person will not be able to develop, we're not going to be able to develop the feeling that is trying to be transmitted.
Right. That's true. Everyone's an individual. They've got even Krishna can't convince everyone. He's God. Right? He doesn't even try. Well, he does in one sense, but he's always he can't, if Krishna can't convince someone, because everyone has their free will. Everyone has their free will. So we can end here. Is that okay? Okay, those who earned extra burritos, make sure you collect those at the prasadam table. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.